Hello, happy full moon in Leo. So today I'm going to chat with you about what this full moon is all about. And just in case you don't know who I am, if you're watching on YouTube, my name is Latoya from Emerald Astrology. I am an intuitive astrologer and also use Hellenistic techniques as well in my practice. But yeah, so today I'm going to talk about the full moon in Leo so that you are able to navigate this moon with ease and yeah, make the most of it. So that's my mission today. And also to help you embrace your authentic self and to acknowledge that you are important, that you are special in your own way, and the way that you contribute to your community is meaningful. So today what we'll cover is the full moon in Leo, the details of that, and then I'll close this talk with an oracle reading so that you can focus on the chakra that will help, yeah, you to embrace this full moon with ease and anything that, yeah, you're just kind of like lacking on that needs focus or attention so that you can channel this energy in a empowering kind of way. And then if you are a patron, you will get your individualized readings. If you are interested in that, I have the link below that you can join my Patreon and be an Astro Devotee and get your individualized readings twice a month. So that's there for you if you are interested in that. So when does this full moon actually happen? So it happens on Thursday, January 25th at 11:53 a.m. Central. So, you know, at night the moon will be, you know, pretty bright. You'll see it there, but it goes exact in about the middle of the day. So, you know, if we live here in the or not the northern hemisphere, but like if we live, you know, central, that's when we'll see it. Of course, do your time zone thing because it will be different everywhere. And then this full moon happens at 5 degrees in 14 minutes in Leo. So if you have any personal placements in the fixed signs, so that would be Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius, you will feel this moon, especially if you have it near 5 degrees, that sign, because it will be in opposition or squared to your placements. So that's just something to be aware of with this moon. And yeah, so that's what I wanted to mention, just in case, you know, if you're looking at your chart and you like to know what's going on there, that's something to be aware of. So if you're not aware about the moon in astrology, the moon represents or symbolizes our emotions, our intuition, our daily life cycles, or just dealings with everyday people. And so with this full moon in Leo, we will become more aware of the Leo energies in our life and how we relate to it on an everyday kind of basis. And if it's your personal planets or placements yourself, you would see how you are, yeah, just utilizing this energy more personally too. So this is how we can utilize this knowledge. So what does the full moon mean? So typically the full moon represents a time to reflect, realize, and release. And with it being in the sign of Leo, this is a great time to reflect on how you show up for yourself and others, realize a new way to shine, and release a tendency to people please and perform what others expect. Because Leo, the sign itself is the performer. It's the sign that loves to entertain and or shine a light on something. And so that could be in a funny kind of way, that could be in a very serious kind of way, depending on how we use Leo energy. Let me see. So I wanted to go back on when we had the new moon in Leo, and I think it was August. Let me look. 'Cause I thought I had this in my notes, and I don't. So we want to go back on when we had the new moon in Leo, because that was a time when we had set our intentions with how we're going to utilize this energy. Yeah, so August 16th. And now it's coming to completion. So we want to think back on August 16th, how we were utilizing, well, what intention that we had set consciously or unconsciously, and just kind of like review like where we are now with that. So yeah, you want to just kind of take a look at that in your calendar or in your journal, and just kind of see like how are you utilizing this energy. I personally still need to do this, but I was looking back. Oh no, I actually did do this. So I think at that time I was like looking at, so this was time when I was like in the deep of traveling and doing markets and all this stuff, and it was really challenging because I have my malefic in my in Leo, so, and it's on my ascendant, so that was kind of like difficult for me to like navigate, but still was fun and interesting because that challenged me to use my energy in a way that is authentic to me and my situation. And so I was like ready to, just do new things that were creative. And now looking back on it with the full moon in Leo, getting closer to that, because I'm doing this 2 days before the actual full moon. So I might get new downloads when the full moon happens. But I've been kind of like going through what is like important for me to put my energy into, and like when is the right time to do these things, which actually has led me to become more interested in studying electional astrology, and now I'm kind of getting curious about zodiacal releasing. So the way that this moon has been affecting me, or Leo energy in general, and how I've been utilizing it from the new moon in Leo on August 16th up till now, it's just been kind of like thinking about how I've been using my energy, my creative energy, and how I relate to the world at large with this. And when is it the right time to do certain things? Because some things I start, they don't pan out, or I lose energy, I lose steam, or I lose motivation because, again, my Mars is in Leo. So a lot of this energy, the way I relate to Leo, Mars has that, influence on that too. But yeah, that's just been kind of my experience. So you want to kind of look back on um, the new moon in Leo, August 16th, and what intention you had set then, consciously or unconsciously, and to see how like you're relating to it now. And again, like as for me, it's just kind of like becoming more curious about when to execute ideas and when it's the right time and when I should just hold the tension, and just making sure I'm not just trying to do some kind of performance, and is it really something that I'm interested in doing, or that I can sustain, because Leo is a fixed fire sign. So being a fixed sign, it wants to sustain things, and it doesn't like change really. Maybe micro changes, little changes here and there, but for the most part, it's very consistent with what it's doing, what it wants to maintain. You can think of the seasons like the middle of spring, middle of summer, middle of fall or winter. These are the fixed seasons. And when we're looking out, nature is not really changing as much, during these times. And so Leo is this similar way, the middle of summer, it's very, it's hot. It's very, the weather could be more extreme, the sun is in its own sign in Leo. So it's very, very hot here. It's very bright. It's very, um, yeah, you have the energy to want to go out and do the things, and of course, like if you're in the northern hemisphere or you're more in the desert time, area, it could probably be overly hot, and so you have to be more intentional with how you use your energy and just paying attention to when you want to do things, how you want to do things. um but yeah, so that fixed energy, Leo, you just kind of want to take a peep at, how you've been utilizing that and how you relate to the seasons itself. And I know, like, for me, how being more on the nomadic side of life, I've been more closer to nature and been realizing, like, okay, yeah, I have to pace myself. I have to hold attention more, and knowing, like, right now it's raining, so I can't really sit outside and do all the things. Like, I have to um changed what I'm doing and according to what nature is doing. And that could be frustrating, that could be liberating, depending on, your situation and where you're living. But Leo is also a masculine sign, so it's about expression, it's about um, putting your energy into something. And again, with Leo being the performer, it's like, or the creative, it wants to create, it has this innate need to create something, do something, um, lead in something. And yeah, so just kind of like thinking about how you relate to that energy, relate to those keywords here. Authority, cheerfulness is something that we want to meditate on with the full moon in Leo, because it's going to be more apparent to us. Um, and then what are you are willing into your life? Because the motto of Leo is I will. And yeah, that's something that you want to think about. What are you willing to do in your life to change things up, especially um, around this full moon in Leo? And I'll talk about the sun and where that's at and how that influences our decision making as well. So to give it kind of like a big picture here, um, we have the sun in Aquarius in opposition to the full moon in Leo. And that creates, well, the moon in Leo, that creates the full moon. So that, makes our emotions more apparent to us and illuminates our inner life and how we are navigating the ability to be authentic to ourselves within communities, the sun in Aquarius. And also, this full moon can be really intense because it's in opposition to Pluto, that is now in Aquarius. And we'll be there. It'll be out, I think, in September. It'll go back into Capricorn, but be back into Aquarius in November for 20 years. And so this energy, Pluto, is very intense. It's very cathartic, if we allow ourselves to flow with it, or it will force that need to release. If we're not open to it, it can come out sideways. But Pluto is the planet of trauma, transformations, in ways that we don't expect at times. We don't know that we're the caterpillar. We don't know we're gonna turn into that butterfly. And when that process starts to happen, it just starts to happen. And so Pluto can do this with us. And also this podcast, I was like listening to the astrology podcast. One of the astrologers mentions that it can also transport us to new situations, to new cultures, to new relationships that are outside of the norm for us. And we have to adapt, we have to transform ourselves in order to survive and therefore thrive in these situations. But Pluto can do this too. And with it being in full opposition to the moon, it is also shining a light on how we are relating to this energy through interactions or confrontations with other people. And also Pluto deals with power and use of power, or the misuse of power. And this could create power struggles within ourselves. These are the things that we might have been suppressing for a while, and now it's in our face through confrontation with other people. And so with this full moon in Leo, we have to think about what is authentic to us. What is it that makes us feel like ourselves, and are we being honest, with other people? Because that's another Pluto thing too, is honesty. And so we're kind of like having to find the tension between these two energies of Pluto and the moon in Leo, and that can create tension, with it being in opposition. So being mindful of how we are using power, how you perceive power, perceive where we have power and how we're showing up for ourselves is really important with this full moon, and holding space for ourselves for that to happen. I asked a question on Facebook about, self-abandonment, which could be a Leo issue, because Leo has this tendency to want to people please and perform, and um, that's in a form of a self-abandonment. And especially when we're going against our integrity, our core, and we give up ourselves. And that's Pluto themes too. We're giving up our power to other people because we feel like maybe we're not powerful enough, maybe we don't know better, whatever the excuse or the rationality of that may be, that could be a thing that we were dealing with this full moon in Leo. And yeah, people were giving, so I was asking, how do you wrestle with those who wrestle with self-abandonment? How do you create, I'm kind of paraphrasing what I'm saying, but like, how can you do things to help you stay consistent and like being true to yourself? And people were giving some really good answers, like simply, doing the little self-care practices that you need. That could be like a massage, that could be, meditating on a symbol like ahimsa, which was like the hand with the eye in the center. That could be simply speaking up for yourself and holding space for yourself, or simply looking into your children's eyes and telling them, I love you and I bless this mess. I love that. That's a beautiful saying from a friend that mentioned that on the comments. And just like doing these little self-care practices to remind you that it's okay for you to hold space for yourself, and it's okay for you to take up space. It's very important. Another person said that they put cold water on their face and then maybe smack their cheeks a little bit to just kind of be present. These little things can really help us, especially when we're dealing with a lot of stressful situations, relationship or situationships with this opposition to Pluto. I think that would be really helpful, and I'm really grateful for people sharing their insights there, because yeah, this can be a really difficult transit to deal with, and especially with Pluto being in Aquarius, we're dealing with a lot of our power struggles and trauma, maybe even, or shocking situations within community, within dealing with technology, or just kind of like how humanity is progressing in general. And yeah, so the moon is shining a light on this and how we're showing up for ourselves, and um taken an account of our own sense of authority of our own life while this is happening, while we're seeing these shifts. Another thing that to be aware of, we are in Aquarius season, and I'll talk more about that. So from January 20th to February 18th, as the moon moves through Aquarius, we're in Aquarius season, so we can start asking ourselves about community and what does that mean to us, and how do we want to show up in community during this time. Venus is going to recently moved into Capricorn. So that's actually today as I'm recording this, January 23rd. And so Venus in Capricorn, she's not, you know, super comfortable in Capricorn, but she still can do some things here. And so with her being in Capricorn, this is, a sign of getting things done. That's kind of like what I like to think of it. Capricorn is the CEO, or the disciple, or the oh man, the architect of the zodiac. So with Venus being here, the planet of love and relationships and values and money, even in Capricorn, she really puts her relationships, her money, in the forefront of like what is it that we're trying to achieve, what is the objective of this year, or how are we positioning ourselves for success, how are positioning our relationships for success in the long run. And so Venus being in Capricorn can really shift our mindset around here and positioning ourselves in relationships during this time. And then 2 days later, on January 27th, Uranus will be stationing direct, and so in Taurus. And so this will be, shifting our perspective on how we're relating in Taurus. And Uranus is at 19 degrees Taurus. And so Uranus being the planet of change and rebellion and innovation, breaking down the system, breaking through in general. Like maybe we've been feeling stuck here, and now we have that sudden influx of energy and insight and perspective shifts. And so that can happen when Uranus is stationing direct on January 27th. And so how we deal with sudden perspective, shifts, depends on us and how we relate to change, and the ability to adapt to change, and the desire to accept change. And so that can be part of the narrative with this full moon in Leo, since that's so close to the full moon that happens on the 25th of January. So Aquarius season, here's a few things to just be aware of, or things that you can question yourself about as we're going through Aquarius season between January 20th, February 18th, is how can we progress in life from this standpoint, from where we are? Because again, Aquarius has to do with progress and wanting to innovate and to push ourselves forward. This is a very forward-thinking sign. This is a very just like innovative sign, and wants to do better, wants to improve, wants to incorporate technology so that it can enhance our life and make more a quality life that we can connect in community in meaningful ways. And so thinking along these lines of how can I progress our life from our standpoint, it could be a really valuable question to ask yourself during this season, because that can get you moving in a direction that is natural and is in alignment to what the planets are doing at this time. It's more specifically the sun. So another question you could ask yourself is, who can I be in community with to achieve my 2024 big goal? So if you have a big goal for 2024, thinking about the type of people that you want to be around would be really helpful around this time, because that can really open your mind up to see what is actually available to you, and just even if it's small, making those moves towards that so that you can have that in your life, and it could um actualize more as time moves along. And then a thing to also be aware of is just being mindful when you are super detached from others to protect yourself. And this is, I feel like I'm talking to myself more so than anybody else, because um I tend to be a loner, and I like my alone time. But sometimes it could be isolating, super isolating, and I'm like, oh wow, I haven't talked to so and so in amount of time. So just thinking about, just being mindful of like, am I detaching from friends because I feel overwhelmed and I need that alone time to kind of get centered, or I'm avoiding people and just in general because I don't want to feel or I don't want to experience certain things. And so just being mindful of yourself and like where you're at on that, along those lines with Aquarius season, is important. So to wrap this up, the full moon is good for reflecting on how you show up for others and yourself, more importantly. Thinking about, are you proud of yourself, or do you feel like something is missing? And getting curious about that, sitting there, holding space for that, visualizing, let your mind take you where it's going. If you feel like something is missing, what is it that you would want to experience now? Another thing that this moon is good for is realizing a new way to shine. What are you excited about to share? Or what gets you excited? Thinking about that if you're not sure about what you want to share, what gets you excited? Thinking about that and bringing that more into your everyday life is really important. And this moon is really good for releasing a tendency to people please or performing for others because you think they expect that from you. Because we need your unique light, we need your unique perspective on things. And if you dim it, that's a disservice to all of us. Maybe we need to see things in a different light, in a different angle. Or maybe we just need um, I don't know, to see something different. You created something unique or beautiful. That is also really important. And so again, just thinking about what can I share, what can I show, what can I post, what can I do differently that is unique to me, and that maybe will brighten up someone's day because that I don't know, that's Leo energy, that's embracing that archetype of, yeah, I'm here and I can shine a light on something. I can express my light, and that is good. That is important. That is fun. That's fulfilling. That's purposeful. Okay. So the oracle card, let's pull it. So this is a chakra that we all can focus on with the full moon and Leo to help amplify our experience or center ourselves in the experience, whatever it is that we need. I feel like I need more centering. I don't know. I've been feeling, yeah, just kind of in the soup with the seasons here. It's been very cold here, so I'm kind of. Oh, okay, so the chakra to focus on is the sacral chakra, which is Leo is known to represent. And this card says service. So, yeah, how does our creativity can be of service to someone else? So again, thinking about, oh, I have this perspective on things. You don't even know if it's unique, but you have a perspective on something, and to simply share it in a quick post or a blog or an art or, a painting or I don't know, just expressing it with your friends could be of service to someone. And just having that willingness to share what it is that you feel or sense or believe even um, could be a service to others, because again, with it being Aquarius season, we're in relationship to others. We cannot escape. We can't escape, being amongst other people. We're all connected, and we're always in community with people. So we could be more intentional, the type of community that we are in, or just observing the community that you're in, and just asking yourself, how can I be more of service based off of my own, abilities, integrity, perspective, gifts, creative gifts that I have, and knowing that that strengthens all of us, whenever we are shining a light on things, that we're expressing who we really are, that that just makes the world a better place, I think, especially again when we're in winter and the days aren't so bright right now. Literally the sun is at its fall in Aquarius, so it's not, the skies are literally gray. um it's colder, during this time. Like we need that. We need our community. We need everyone to show themselves and in the best light possible, because some of us might be out here suffering or struggling. We might have apparent illnesses or hidden illnesses that we're just kind of like, I don't know, wrestling with. And so whenever you're shining your light in whatever way possible that you see fit in your community, it really does a service. um, Yeah, to all of us. And I think I want to wrap, like, this talk up was just remembering to be kind to yourself and to other people during this, season that we are in, and that, yeah, we just need each other, and just to you need yourself and you need others. It's just really important to remember that. So I think I want to wrap this talk up with that. And again, if you would love an individualized reading, make sure you check out the Patreon link below. If you're watching on YouTube, and if you are already a patron, I want to say thank you for all your love and all your support. And I'm just happy that we're on this journey together. So thank you so much. And I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful full moon in Leo. See you next time.